So today's topic, Huawei just beat Google to the punch. Now, you know what Huawei is. Huawei is a company in China, and I know them for their smartphones, even though I never got to hold one myself. But I've been watching the other tech reviewers, so I'm not going to pretend I know a whole lot about them. But basically, a lot of the things that Google or Apple or even Samsung has done, Huawei has been first in some areas. Or if they wasn't first, they usually can do the same thing, but for much lower the price. That is, if you are able to even get your hands on one. Now, without going into much detail, in 2019, Huawei's phones were Android. Like most of the world are Android, and Huawei was one of the ones that basically they put their own skin on Android, just like Samsung, LG, Sony, and other manufacturers. In 2019, they couldn't do that anymore. Political stuff, basically, they were not allowed access to Google services. They were cut off from the Google Play Store, and that means they were essentially dead in the water. You couldn't update. Now, that didn't last forever, and even though Huawei did regain access to Google services, slipped them quite a bit, and they vowed never again. And they got to work on their own operating system, HarmonyOS. Now, why this is important, there are other phone manufacturers, of course, but HarmonyOS is not built on Android. It's not scalable on Android. It's not Linux based like Android is. It has nothing to do with Google. So they completely ditched Google, and that was years ago. Fast forward to today, and just recently, they came out with HarmonyOS, but for PC. So it's not just that they're going at Google or making their own competing operating system when it comes to phones, and also have the operating system when it comes to this. Now, read the articles, and they mostly say that this is aimed at Macs, Windows, which is true. And Chromebooks is not really mentioned, but as I'm looking at it, this seems more and more what I think Google hoped to is what Huawei has already done. Now, I try to get more information on this, but literally like 90% of the videos or reviews I find about this PC and this operating system just seems like, how should I put this? Bad. They're not ads, they seem like ads. Glowing reviews, and maybe it is that good. It's so good and is suspicious. And I ain't gonna touch that. Not the point. Whether it's a good operating system or not, I'm not gonna know for quite a while. And looked up the price of even get my hands on one of those things, and that's no way. Looking at it now, I don't know if it's the same operating system for their PC because their HarmonyOS on their phones is theirs, is unique, is their store, is their apps. And they've already got some development or desktop applications for their PC. But it's HarmonyOS on the phone, is HarmonyOS on the desktop. Now, how close they are together, I'm not sure. Somebody who actually get their hands on this tech would be able to let us know that. But for right now, I want to bring the attention to Google. And we know that, especially with the latest I/O, they want Android to be prevalent on all screens, including desktop. Yes, we have Chrome OS, hence this channel, but I think what they really want to get to is make Android OS for PC. I think that's where we're going to. I don't know if that's going to be a name. Now we know that the Chrome is the Lin kernel is coming, and that's going to be integrated, and they're still going to be called Chromebooks. We don't know. I don't even know if Google knows at this point. But I believe they want Android system to be on all platforms. It may be called something different, but I believe they want one operating system to just fit on. That just whatever screen you're watching on, it just becomes that thing. I think if you use it Android on a smartphone or use Android on a tablet, it morphs into what you need for a tablet. And if you use it Android on a laptop or PC like I'm doing right now, it will just become what it needs to be. I think it's what Google wants it. Therefore, Huawei couldn't have done that already, because I could totally see them ditching even like the Chrome OS brand. Google Graveyard. What a lot of us fail to just realize is a lot of the Google Graveyard is made up of alternates. Google likes to make multiple products of the same thing, see which one has better reception, and then dish the other one. Right now, I'm using Gmail, but before that, I had Inbox, and I thought Inbox was a great music player. I have YouTube Music on my phone, but before it was Google Play. Hated when Google Play left. There's so many other apps and programs that are like that, where Google has multiple versions of one thing, and then they kill one version and bring the parts that are good and put it into this new thing. And I think right now, Android on desktop is getting better. Not there yet. It's not ready to replace iOS. But I think once it gets flushed out, and then we have the Android desktop mode fully realized, we have Chrome OS. I think it's going to be a fight. I'm not sure what they're going to call it, but I can totally see them one day announcing Android OS for PC. That could be the future. All right, who knows? What do you guys think of this theory? Would you be happy about that? Let me know down in the comments. If you like this kind of content, nerd out with me, just consider liking, subscribe the video. See you next time. Take care.